Friendship supreme. Friendship supreme. Finding the geek within.
Hey everybody, my name is Michael.
My name's Cleve.
And welcome to an exciting episode of Friendship. Or the podcast that dares to ask, are you a spy?
Not the superb one.
Superb spy.
Oh, that's the theme song?
Yeah.
You look that up? Oh, nice.
He doesn't even know, but he's gonna save the world.
You don't even know he's gonna do it.
And he doesn't even know.
He just does it.
He just does it.
Today, we are talking about issue 1 of a new comic, Spy Superb, #1, by Dark Horse.
And something else, right? It was like a secondary print. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to throw a wrench in that.
No, that's fine. I mean, if it
It's
is, then
Flux House, but it's under the guise of Dark Horse. Like, I think Flux House did the art and stuff, and Dark Horse was like, let us print it for you.
cool. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Is that how all comics work?
Sort of, mainly. I think Dark Horse is big enough now that like they announce that they're doing that. Maybe.
That makes sense. Like, I was like, doesn't everybody just find the story and they let us print that for you?
Yeah, basically.
I went for this one because it wasn't that. Sometimes you just get tired of that superhero story, you know? And I wanted something that was going to feel a little bit different, which is funny enough why I started watching Spy Family. For the same reason, but in anime form. I got tired of the superhero good guy beat bad guy storyline, so I started watching an anime that had a little more fun to it, and then I also picked Spy Superb. I am very curious about this story and where it goes. I've not heard anything negative about it. It came out last year, January 11th. I mean, bestseller in the New York Times, Harvey Award-winning graphic novel.
It definitely gives.
What do you think?
It definitely. So it definitely gives.
I don't want to get into it yet.
Yeah, it definitely gives an indie film vibe.
Okay, yeah.
Where it's definitely not your typical cartoon, and I can definitely see it being like #1 on some lists. My personal feeling, I don't care for the art style at all, and
I can see that.
It's not
a very
for
different
me, but yeah,
liberty of art.
it is, and I think the premise is cool. I do not like this character, Bartholomew.
Oh, well, you're not supposed to, right?
I get that, but like, I don't like how he's written in general. I don't know. Like, I get that like he's supposed to be obnoxious, and it's gonna be it. But you know what it gives? Gives Pink Panther or Get Smart vibes. Like, I get that the premise is that the spies don't know they're spies. Essentially the government is using probability and redirection to create spies to do things that they want them to do without them actually ever knowing, so that if they don't know they're spies, then other entities can't know that they're spies either.
Right.
And even if they do,
Spy
like,
Superb is kind of like what Batman wanted Batman to be, right? Like, just this fable of a character. He'll never be caught. Nobody knows anything about him because he's not real.
Right.
The spy himself. They had people who were kind of the spies, and then like accidents kept happening, and I think the first one was like this super genius, fucking physically fit guy, then blew himself up.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Well, that can't be Spy Superb because he blew himself up, and that doesn't make sense."
And so, like, I get
But
that, and I think that premise is cool. I just, again, it feels too much like Get Smart without it being, with it being, it feels like its nose is stuck up, like it's turned up, but it's Get Smart. And I don't know if you remember the show or movie Get Smart. But it's like, for anybody out there that doesn't, it's basically the idea that the spy or whoever the main character is so dumb, but they somehow luck into everything. Like things just work out for them because they're dumb. And I don't know, it's like, for it to be snooty feeling while reading the comic and then it to be that, it just felt weird.
I don't know that I got the Get Smart vibe because of, okay, so the mission is we need a phone picked up,
Mm-hmm.
and the person that they shows is J. Bartholomew III, and Jay gives off like the guy everyone knows vibe, where he's writing this book, and it's so much better than anything that you've ever read, and if you don't get it, you're dumb. And I've only read the first chapter, but that's because it's perfect, and everything's got to be And so I guess where I didn't get that the Get Smart vibe is like this guy really thinks like he's the one, as to where the other ones like they
They
I guess
all,
understood that they weren't the best.
but I would tell you that, like, that style of storytelling, that they do think they're amazing at what they do. Like, Detective Crusoe and Pink Panther, he does the same thing where, like, he thinks he's the best detective in the world, and it just so happens that stupid shit happens. I mean, there's a scene in this comic where assassins come to kill him, and he just happens to catch one on fire, knock one out, knock one down while stabbing him, and then the other one gets shot, and he's just like, cool. Like, that happened.
I like that he was like, "Why'd you get so close when the stove caught him on fire?"
Right.
I'm like, he's like, "I told you not to get too close," and I went back and I'm like, "Did he say not to get too close?" Like, nope. He just, I don't know.
He reminds me so much of a kid that I knew in high school. He's just a real d-bag, like, but not in a cool way, right? Well, no, he's just not. He's not cool.
It's a cool way.
Yeah,
he thinks it's a cool way.
He's definitely not cool. He's definitely like, I think Cleve hits it on the head. He's definitely that guy that's writing fanfic at a Starbucks while drinking his coffee and thinks it's going to be the next big novel. And it's just rough.
There is a panel where he gets shot. Someone gets shot in the head, and he goes, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
Like, no, he's not okay.
Yeah, it wasn't for me, but I'm sure it did well.
It seems like it did well, and I don't know. First issue. I don't know how far this guy gets.
Mm-hmm.
And do you just?
I think he's going to be the main character the entire time. I think that's
use him until it's no longer needed. Because there is a whole agency behind all of this,
right? I think that it's that he. So I think he's going to last the entire time, and I think it's because he's so, haha, I'm dumb, and yet somehow luck out that he's going to last through the entire time they need him.
It's so funny because, like, yeah, I get that he's dumb, and then there's like the part where he has the box of cell phones and he drops it, and he's like, "Oh my god, I almost got cut!" Like, and just to get completely detached from what everybody else has going on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, everything I see about it is like high rated. Which I mean, that's the whole point of this, right? Like we're trying to judge it on that first issue
Mhm.
because sometimes that's all you get. Sometimes people only buy the one issue and then I'm done with you after that.
Yeah, it does look like it's him throughout the entire series.
Interesting.
And other people also did refer to him as Clouseau.
Hmm. Nailed
So it just isn't for me. I don't care for the style. Honestly, if I and this is not I'm not artistic, so it sucks. Like I don't like to just shit on things. But like when I'm looking at this is like something that I imagine someone like in high school drew and was like, look how cool this is. And I know the dude that wrote this is really good at what he does. Like he's a huge part of Dark Horse. So like it's not, I don't know. I feel bad saying that I don't care for it and I don't like the art. I'm sure it's for somebody.
Matt Kind, the writer
Yeah.
and the artist. Um, it's almost like watercolors. Is that how you would describe the artwork or the art style?
That's a good description. You know what? Watercolor courtroom art. You know how like when they draw the
Yes.
courtrooms, that's how all the people
Yes.
look. It's like they were drawn in courtroom art. I don't know. I'm looking at the picture of Bartholomew right now and I just hate it. But again, maybe it's because I don't care for that character. I didn't care for those types of spy movies either. Cleve knows I like spy stuff. I think it's interesting. I do not like dumb spy movies. I'm not a fan of like Naked Gun.
Yeah.
Growing up, people around me would have sworn it was one of the greatest movies ever, and I thought, God, I can't stand it.
Yeah. The titular spy superb is a painfully moronic person, and yet the person is able to turn him into a highly entertaining character to follow as he stumbles from one success to the next. It is a quick and enjoyable read, and Kind cartooning is as pleasing as ever. So is most of his art style like that?
It's gotta be, right? Like you don't just choose to be this art style.
That's fair.
Like on a one-off.
That's fair. Usually when you're, especially once you've made the money.
This is one of their big like launching. So I read about Flux House a little bit. It's a product of Dark Horse. Dark Horse is using it to create these different miniseries, and
definitely his art style.
Okay, yeah, and Matt Kind, like this is one of their first like big things from Flux House was this. So it's definitely you'd put your best foot forward on it. So if that's what you're known for, you're definitely gonna be doing that. Again, it may be for people like it. I imagine there's lots of people out there. I remember seeing it come out at the comic book stores because I thought the comic book cover was interesting. So that alone could have grabbed people. The comic book cover looks like different grocery bags. I think it's Trader Joe, first one's Trader Costco, and something else. Yeah.
Well, now I'm looking, and I think it only has 3 issues. Now I really might finish it.
It's a miniseries. It's only 3 issues.
Yeah.
A total 147 pages, all 3 of them together. If you want to read it all together.
I think that I have a lot more interest in the guy at the beginning and the end.
Caretaker?
Yeah. Who's got like a bit of a Nick Fury vibe. Not like
he's definitely the architect
attitude, but like like a point in the agency.
He's definitely pulling the strings and making the moves. So I agree, he's more interesting of the character.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I liked that. Sorry, go ahead.
There's no point that you made that I don't like. Yeah, I could see that for sure. You know what I mean? Like I don't disagree with what you're saying. The art style is very like you have to just accept it or not, and you move on from there. I've had problems with comics that I'm like it's just not clear to me enough to enjoy.
Yeah. They're very good about setting the story. Like I understand the story, I understand what's going on. So I mean, like they're good at storytelling.
Yeah, the writing's there.
I agree with you. I really like probably the last like 5 pages when we're discussing the caretaker's like his whole vibe. I enjoy that, and I think he is probably a real interesting character that would be fun to follow. They may have just out douchebagged me to the point where I can't deal with this other guy, which is fair. And I mean, I get what they were going for.
Yeah, the handler at the end where he's talking about, to me, like, killing's not supposed to be this enjoyable thing, but it's, the best assassination is one where no one killed. There was an assassination. And he tells his whole story about how he got there was the target, and he had a personal chef. He got the personal chef fired, put his own chef in there, and then he delivered groceries to that chef and a recipe that he knew mixed all together would kill the target.
Yeah.
And nobody's gonna question what happened. I was like, this is all that all sounds great to me.
Yeah.
That guy, yeah. I guess I give it a little bit of not a pass necessarily, but I get over it because I can tell I'm not supposed to like him.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't hate him too much because I know I'm not supposed to like him. He's definitely like, I'm gonna bore you with I'll bring you a copy of my book when I get done writing it, and then I don't tip you.
Yeah,
just all that
that's
guy.
rough.
I'm like, yeah, this is definitely that guy for sure.
That's rough.
Who knows, man? Maybe he catches a bullet at the end, and that would you'd be like,
you let me know. You let me know, because then I'm in.
I'll read it and I'll just tell you should finish it or not. Like, I won't tell you what happened.
Yeah, it's just maybe not for me, but
yeah,
that happens sometimes. Out of 10, what would you give it?
Just this first issue, I'm gonna go. I have to put such parameters on it, but I'm trying not to, like just a flat rating. But you have to like spy shit first off, because if you hate spy shit, this is 1,000,000% not for you. But if you're just open to reading a new comic, I would say first issue 5 or 6 out of 10. Nice middle. It's not bad. I've read bad. It's not bad, and I'm not fully sold just on the first one. You?
For what I know Dark Horse can do, I would say like a 3.5, 4. And it's just because I've gotten things out of them that I have enjoyed more thoroughly than this, and I have zero interest in continuing this story on. And there are some stories that I've continued on for a while that I'm like, why am I still here?
Is there something? Is there a specific example you would have in mind of like what Dark Horse is giving you that you're like, yes, please, more?
Well, I mean, you could go into like the Frank Miller shit if you really want, but
yeah,
I don't know.
If there was like a favorite from you that you're like,
they did a Firefly series I really liked, if I remember correctly. Okay. But
that seems like one they would do.
Yeah, unless it's a character that my daughter really wants to read or I'm really excited about, I tend to stay away from the big ones. Even Image, I tend to try to stay away from just so that I can get new stuff, because I'm so burnt on superheroes that I really try to move away from it.
Well, I'm sure they're not happy about you calling them one of the big ones.
Image, they very well are at this point. I mean,
they're the big, the small, right? Like they're not, because there's 2 big ones.
Yeah.
And then everyone else, and it kind of trickles from there.
I
would say they're they're above someone just doing it themselves, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I've read Keen Spot, just off the top of my head, recently. Keen Spot, Antarctica Press. I got one next week. Who's the Scout Comics?
I wonder how many movies they've made. Is that how we'll determine like how big they are? Like how many movies have you had made about your comics?
I
Who
mean,
got bloodshot, deadshot, not deadshot.
Bloodshot.
Yeah.
I don't know who ended up doing Bloodshot. That's actually a really good question.
Well, like, do you know if it was Dark Horse or...
That's why that's what I meant. The comic.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
who did the comic.
I think
Bloodshot.
that hit with Vin Diesel.
Can't believe it. And Valiant Entertainment, which is an indie. That's the other thing you run into, by the way, is stuff like Dark Horse that's owned by DC. Like it just you know what I mean, like you run into like this who owns what, but no, I mean I just for what it is, I would
love for them to have been their own thing, for sure.
For it to be $8 for an issue, it's 50 pages, so it's a little bit more than a normal comic book, but 50 for $8. And for it to be one of their, what I would consider flagship issues that they put out, their series that they put out, it was all right. But I imagine, like I said, that there are people out there that are like, this is the fucking best. And so, like, I'm not here to yuck yums. For me, it was like a 3.5.
I feel like anybody who hard pushes it on you would be the people that are like, you just don't get it.
Yeah,
you know,
him. The main character from the fucking comic book would be like, you just don't get it, bro.
I don't know, because I was thinking more like the Rick and Morty fans, but yeah, I guess him too.
But you know,
if I don't get famous, it's because idiots like you.
Yeah, maybe you guys will like it. And like I said, I'm excited for anybody to enter the comic book world, no matter what. If spy stuff and get smart style spies excite you with a serious writing style, I again, the storytelling is good. It's not the worst comics I've read. I've read some really rough ones. So it's definitely not the worst. It's just, I think in a world where I feel like Dark Horse should be held to a higher standard, this is not their one for me. But you might like this, so check it out at your local comic book store, because they need your help. All local comic book stores need help.
Matt did another one, like we're friends. Matt kind of did another one called Hairball through Flux House also. Same art and all that, but and
maybe
I don't know.
Maybe it works better for something that's not this for me.
I wanted to compare it to like not this pencil mustache fucker,
right? And
see like if it would hit your eyes better than that.
Anyways,
it's John Wick. It's John Wick meets Wes Anderson.
That's
mystery thriller.
If I'm being 100% honest, and Cleve knows I've complained many times before, that is literally the first thing I said to myself when I was reading this comic was, this is some Wes Anderson bullshit. And I just don't like Wes Anderson style things. It's very much you have to be intelligent to like this. If you didn't like it, it's just because it went over your head. Fucking God, Rick and Morty fans.
Don't you like the Fantastic Mr. Fox?
No.
I thought you were a fan of that one.
I've yet to see a film of his that I've liked. I've watched 3: Life Aquatic, Fantastic Mr. Fox. Oh, I saw Island of Dog. Oh, and I watched the Asteroid City that I was talking about with you one day.
I think I like the Royal Tenenbaums, but I don't remember. Maybe I just like the cast. That's what this is about.
That's the thing. He gets amazing cast every time. It's because they all want to be a part of a pretentious movie that's going to get an award. Anyways, that's not what this is about. You're right. I'm sorry.
I mean, you didn't like the Taika Waititi movie either. And that kind of have those same vibes.
I was willing to,
like the people that are like Frasier's the best sitcom.
I was willing to admit that I personally felt attacked immediately with the Taika one, and so because of that, like I think that it put me in a bad spot. I admitted that later on after we reviewed it.
I think that they did this to you with that character. I think that they introduced a guy that you fucking it triggered you because you said this reminds me of someone.
Yeah.
And I think that hatred flew through the rest of this comic for you.
The same reason I never watched Attack on Titan or Naruto. He was too pretentious for me. Couldn't stand it.
There you go. There you go.
Anyways, guys.
Go so take that rating for Michael with the pile of salt.
Knowing that I'm reading just an obscene amount of comics right now to try to review for people on TikTok, guys. I'm going to start doing
what's that TikTok handle?
Friendship Supreme, guys. You can find us there. Boom. Where I do 30-second reviews of comics where I basically tell you exactly what's happening and whether you should read it or not. If you guys like spy stuff and you're looking forward to something kind of different and art style that is certainly different, make sure you guys check.
Do you like John Wick and Wes Anderson?
Yeah.
Like the article said, this is for you.
Make sure you guys check out Spy Superb. The whole 3 issues are out, so you can either get the graphic novel or the 3 issues themselves. Like I said, I am a sucker for covers, and these have some kind of cool covers to me. It was unique.
Like it's on random little fucking
and on the back there's like a receipt and all kind of it's. I was
trying to figure out the receipt because it was just random numbers. Mm-hmm. It's not like prices. Anyway, keep going.
I think there is something. If it makes you feel better, I think there is something to it. I just don't know what it is. I'm sure we could.
That's how you would get me if you put like little fucking puzzles in it.
Dakota ring shit. But make sure you guys check it out.
A lot of playing, though.
Oh yeah, make sure you guys check it out at your local comic book store because shopping at a local comic book store helps keep them there, and we appreciate that because we like them.
Shout out to
Titan Comics.
I've not been there forever, but
Clea goes to Titan Comics.
So far,
I go to Collected Comics. Honestly, any comic book store that's near you, check them out.
Go to the one that is close to you that treats you right.
How about this? You go to them, and if they don't treat you good, you tell us about it, and then we'll make sure that they treat you better next time.
Blast.
We'll send them a message, and they've never
3 people here.
They've never been so
not including the person who left the comment.
Anyways, guys, I've been Michael.
This is Cleve.
And we'll catch you on the next issue.